Hey everyone, welcome back to another Ghostly Encounters, where we're actually going to start coloring the ghost today. If you haven't seen the previous 4 videos where we colored the background of the cemetery here, I will link those in the description box below so you can get caught up. And if you want to do this coloring page, this is from a wonderful artist at Davidson Coloring Art. It's only $2.75. The link is in the description box below. I am using Black Widow Monarch pencils for this coloring page. You can use whatever color you want. I have a color chart on my website, copingcreatively.net. I just got in the Black Widow Monarchs, especially for this coloring page. I found these wonderful color swatches on Etsy. Stacy Bledsoe creates these, and her Etsy store is called A Tailored Image. And she has all different kinds of versions of these. They have been so easy and so helpful picking colors. And I will put a link to her Etsy store down below also, along with the Davidson Coloring Art Etsy store. And you can go ahead and pick these up if you would like them and come color along with me. Now for the ghosts, I've got a couple of pictures here. They're kind of see-through, and there's some solid areas. Over here you can see it's kind of hazy at the end and glowy around the edge. We're going to try to do the best that we can with the picture. Now so far we've only been using the Black Widow Monarch pencil set, but we're going to need to bring in a couple of more things for this part. We're going to need a ruler. We're going to need a Derwent burnisher, and I prefer this over the Prismacolor blender or the Derwent blender because it kind of just seals the color into the tooth of the paper without adding extra waxy finish. Another thing we're going to need is Prismacolor white, and we're going to need a lot of it. Yeah, we got 3 ghosts to do. We've got, you know, all these wispies to put in and haze. We're going to need a lot of these. So I've got some on order. Hopefully they'll get in by the time I need them, but I think I've got enough to get us going. For the ghost, this mausoleum and this mausoleum. This first one we did with the brownish grays, which were the dark gray and the shadow, and I think we added a little fawn to make it a little more brown. And then over here we used the gunmetal and the medium gray. So we're going to need those. And to start out, you can kind of see where he's a little see-through. So we're going to kind of follow that. Line up your ruler, and I'm going to take my lightest color, and that would be the dark gray for here. I'll line it up, and I think I'll zoom you in first so you can see what I'm doing a little better. So you can line your ruler up along this line and draw a line. It should pretty much match up there. And what we're going to do is start filling this in with our light gray. And put a little fawn in there, if I can find the fawn. And we'll come back later and detail these a little bit more. I just want to get, because it's going to be hazy back there. And for this part here, we're going to use the shadow. So lightly put in some shadow here. Kind of blend that together a little bit with this light gray. I just want to give it some color. I think we might need a little bit more. Now this looks like it might be a little more solid. I don't see where, I think as they get more in, they're going to get a little more solid. You don't see too much in the middle here of lines or anything. So we're just going to do this part, line here. And then over here we've got a line, and this is the medium gray and the gunmetal. So the gunmetal is the lightest. Follow this line here and this line. There isn't much here in this one, but yeah, there isn't much that's gonna get on this one. Color that in. I'll take some of this medium gray to darken it up a little bit, especially this line. I just want to put the line in there softly at first until I know exactly. You can see some kind of shading areas here. Now down here, we're going to be using pretty much the same colors. Kind of line up these lines here. And we'll use dark gray. Now I got it. And a little lighter. Again with the dark gray. I'm going to try to stay away from those buttons. Fawn. Back in with the dark gray again. We want to get it close to this, but not as dark. A little shadow in here. Deepen up some of these colors here. I might put a little, just a little. Just going back and forth though. It looks fairly right to me. I don't want to go in and do definition lines yet with the kohl, because we're going to have to go over all of this with the Prismacolor white. That's going to be the very end. It's getting there. I don't want it as dark, I just want it the same kind of tone. I'm just going back and forth with the shadow and the dark gray until it looks pretty good. Now for him, I want him to have a brown suit, and I want him to have a reddish beard, green eyes, and this is going to be kind of a milky color, and what else? We'll see. Okay, first I want to start off with the mushroom, and we're just going to go light in here, because I want this brim of his hat to have like a reddish tone to it, like he's wearing brown and red. And I'm going to do these, actually, yeah, I'm going to do these first. Block them in, and then I'll go back. Putting my fingers all over this. Okay, his beard to have a reddish tint, so hopefully this is his beard. I just want to do the ends, kind of give him a fiery look. Once we get the white in and go back and finish up our details, darkening up the ends. Can't forget his eyebrows. Well, maybe that's not his eyebrow, that's his hair. So, putting extra color in along the way. Looks like a jolly fellow. His hat's gonna be fawn, and his suit's gonna be fawn. So, we're just gonna go in the areas where we have it in. And I'm just doing lightly. Do I dare make that shadow? I think so. Why not? Okay, now his suit is gonna be fawn. Going in lightly. Just to give him a touch of color. Making sure I got enough color though to kind of get most of the white of the paper. But I'm not pressing hard at all. Whose is whose? I think that's part of his. As we start getting closer to where it turns into a cloud, I'm going lighter. And we'll do all of this, all of these, and up here. Because I think I'll be adding white to these, maybe erasing some of the color and making them more white. This might be a little more gray because it's more of a smoke. Well, I just wanted to get them blocked in, but I think these cloudy things are gonna, at least these up here are gonna be one of the last ones after we get the night sky in. It's starting to turn into, and we'll come back and blend all that with the grays and the whites. Kind of get it going into there. His pants are going to be the same color. And we will be darkening up probably his pants to make it not the same color as the jacket. But if it does, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's done. Now for his vest, let's see what oyster will do. If it matches. Yeah, it's just a lighter brownish color. Just going to go in here, fill these in, and then we'll go back over with the mushroom again. Mushroom. Next is the milk we are going to use for his scarf and gloves. Now this you can put in there with some good color because it's so light. Still get toned down by the white. Okay, for his skin we are using ice cream because it's a pale pink. I tried other colors and they were too yellowy and it just, or brown, didn't look right. I mean, he needs to be pale. I might add just a little bit of the milk to see it's kind of real pinky here. Just maybe do a combination. There's a little skin right there. Let me take a little bit of this milk and see if it Kind of tones the paint down a little bit. Yeah. But it's not too brownish though. Okay. That's pretty good. So we can't do a lot of the definition until we get the white in. Now, what I want to do is take this burnishing pencil from Vellum, and I'm just gonna kind of get this to move into the tooth of the paper more. So when we go over it with the white, it won't move that much. Yeah, this is not a blender. It won't move your color around too much. It just kind of sets it into the paper, which is what we want. Because when we go over it with the white, we don't want it to go smearing everywhere. And I hope it works. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. And it doesn't have to be precise, and you don't want to mash it because you still want some of the tooth of the paper because you're going to be adding your white and your details on afterwards. So just a light blend. I shouldn't say blend, a light burnishing. Okay, cross your fingers, say a prayer. Here we go. Going in light circles, being careful in these areas here. Not too bad. Just keep layering up the white. Okay, now he is sufficiently paled out. Now we're gonna go in and add the detail back in. So he does look kind of glowy. We're just gonna add some definition. Now we're gonna darken up some of these lines here with the coal. Okay. Since he's a brown color, we're going to be adding shadows in the dark gray and shadow. And to brighten his beard up, I am going to use Rusty coal to get in here inside his mouth. Make that a little darker. Oh, his eye is going to be such a... Oh my. I'm going to try to get in there and pull some of this. I'm going to do his eye in this leaf green. You probably have my head in the way. I'm probably right in the way here, but holy... This is tiny. And his beard. I'm gonna have to turn you on your side for this because I can't make definition. This should be sharpened. Getting down here in the ends, kind of brightening those up. I don't want it to be just boring, dull white with faded colors. Gotta have some excitement to them. Now I'm gonna go in, start with the dark gray. Just start putting some shadows in. Defining these areas here. His buttons are going to be a light bronze, really sharp point to get in these little circles. Start right. Okay, I'm going to add just a touch more color, just a touch more fawn in certain areas. Where it's kind of just to brighten up the color, just a tad. I'm just seeing areas, and now I'm going to go in with shadow. Let's add some shadow in here. One last pass with the white in certain areas to kind of brighten it up a little bit. Detail in the coal. He should be good. Since he's sharp, I'm gonna start with the beard and the face. One last pass of the white areas to color a little bit more. Just be careful where you went with the black. Too bad for an experiment. Well, that's how I make a ghost. Not sure if it's the right technique or not, but it seems to look okay. I'm not disappointed with it. I think it needs something else, maybe some more color, some more shadows. Not quite sure at this point, but I want to get everything else blocked in before I make any additional changes. We'll have to see how it all blends when everything's filled in. And so now that you know the process of how I do a ghost, tomorrow we will jump in and do these two guys and finish the ghosts up this weekend. And then next week will be the night sky, the dog, and the rest of the cemetery, and we should be pretty much done. Well, thank you for joining me. I look forward to tomorrow where we can finish up these ghosts. And make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell so you have ready access to all my upcoming videos. Thanks again for joining me. I appreciate your company every time. We'll see you tomorrow, and until then, hang in there and have some fun.